For this assignment, I'm going to discuss the scientific method, a core concept in both chemistry and biology classes. The first step is observation. You can make a real-life observation at home or out in nature. This example is about observing ice and how it floats. After observing something, you will ask a question about why it functions or behaves that way. In this case, why does ice float? Why doesn't it sink? Then you will do some background research. You can look up information online that might help you answer your question. You investigate possible explanations for your question. Once all your research is gathered, you can create a testable explanation, also known as a hypothesis. Maybe your research led you to articles indicating different types or purities of water affecting how it freezes and how it floats. So your hypothesis might be, ice floats because there are carbonation bubbles that freeze inside the ice cube and make it float. Next, you will design an experiment to test your explanation. For this example, you decide to freeze distilled or purified water and carbonated water. Once frozen, you put the ice cubes in water and check if either types of ice float on water. Before performing the experiment, you will predict what will happen, based on your observation, research, and hypothesis. In this case, the prediction can be ice cubes made from distilled water will sink, and ice cubes made from carbonated water will float. Then you will begin your test or experiment. You will have to make sure the design has controlled variables and only one manipulated variable to test. You will have to measure out the water used, time how long you keep the ice in the freezer, and use the same ice trays to keep consistency. The water used to float test the ice cubes must also be the same. In this design, distilled water is used. Lastly, in some cases, you will conclude your test based on the data from the experiment. The test could validate your explanation if the hypothesis is correct. In some cases, the data disproves your hypothesis and you will have to create another explanation and repeat the steps until you discover the true explanation. In this case, there is no difference in the type of water used since both float. Another reason for why ice floats will have to be created.